What is up, everybody? My name is Thomas with TMWYT. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are finally going to be putting the brand new wheels on the Golf R. 3 months in the making. We got the tires put on. Let's go get these wheels mounted and see how much more work we have to do to get this build completed. Alright, and while we get these mounted, let me just go over the specs of the wheels and tires really quick. The fronts are an 18 by 10 plus 0 offset with a 265/35 18 Toyo Proxy Sport, and in the rear an 18 by 11 -12 offset with a 275/35 18 Toyo Proxy Sport. There she is, all mounted up, ugly flares and all, you know? I mean, we're doing what we can here, but this is the look we got going right now. Yeah. I think the wheels turned out awesome. They look super great on the car. I love the tires. I love the whole setup. The thing is, I highly recommend getting your wheels first and then buying your flares. You know, as much as you measure and measure and measure, you know, my calculations just didn't account for how big these tires were on these wheels. And the flares, you know, at the end of the day, the flares just, they don't fit. You know, and you can see it here. I'm at, you know, a quarter of the way aired out. There's no way I'm gonna get this. I mean, maybe if I push it, but I mean, I don't want that to have to happen. So I went ahead and ordered bigger flares, because obviously it's gonna need them. You can see it more apparent here in the rear. You know, we still got a little ways to go, but then we'll clear it. I think they turned out exactly how I thought they would. I think they would look awesome. The only thing I was unsure about were the flares, and I was right. I needed to go bigger flares. These were 70 millimeters up front and 90 millimeters in the rear. That equates to about 2.5, correct me if I'm wrong, 2.5 inches up front and 3.5 inches in the rear. So I went ahead and ordered some new flares. We're gonna have 3.25 inches up front and 3.75 inches in the rear. So a lot bigger. I think it'll account for these big tires, and I won't have to worry about, you know, squeezing them under my flares every single time I want to air out. With the increased width of the new flares, I think we'll be able to do just that. Daily drive the car perfectly fine, be able to air out, no problems at all, not having to worry about, oh, am I gonna rip the flare off the car or crumple my fender if I air out on these big wheels. And my goal isn't to air all the way out. I think that'd be really awesome if I'm still able to do that. But I'll be happy if we can get the flare over the top of the tire and as close as we can to this lip as possible. And so I think moving to the bigger flares was the move. I was gonna try to add camber to this setup, But at the end of the day, you know, I went with the meaty tires for performance. This build is centered around, it's a show car, but it's also my daily driver, but I also want to go out and rip it. And, you know, I'm not saying like it's a track car or a performance car, but I want to keep the sporty performance aspect of it, because that's what the Golf R is. You know, it's a fun car to daily drive. It's also a fun car to take ripping up the canyons. Wanted a meaty setup. I wanted to be able to push the car as hard as I want and not really have to worry about traction or anything. So I'm just really excited how this build is coming together. We're gonna get the new flares. I'll show you guys when they come and the installation of those. Really bummed that it didn't fit, you know, exactly how I wanted it right out the box, but you know, something you learn pretty quick when building a car is this custom work is not something you can just buy from a car website. If you want straight bolt-on parts, this is not for you. You know, you're gonna be in the garage every night making this work. So if that's for you, definitely go for it. I think the wide wheels are super fun, but I think the wheels are the main focus here, and oh my goodness, guys. They look so great on the car. And I know it's not wrapped. You know, I'm missing my side skirts, my bumper isn't put together, but my car has not been on wheels or driven since March, and it's now May. And I'm super happy to be driving it again. We have a lot more clearance to do, a lot more clearance work. And I'll show you that when I install the new flares. This is the first time my car has been outside in quite a long time, and I'm just really happy about that. We'll go take a look at the rears. So here's the fronts. The fronts are sweet, look absolutely crazy, and then you get around to the backs, and that's where the real party starts. The backs are absolutely mad. The dish is so deep, I mean, deep for a Golf. I know people have crazy wheel specs on cars that are meant to, you know, have big wheels. But for a Golf, I think this is awesome. You know, I went with a super low offset, you know, negative offset even. And I just love this look. I think it's awesome. I think the best shot of the rear is truly from the rear. You can see. So down here, you can just see how wide they are. You got Utah flexing in the background with their sunset. Oh my goodness. Guys, I'm just super happy with how this turned out. And we're close. We're still working on it. I mean, you see just driving around the rear flares, they pulled out my rear my rear well nuts and bolts. And that's why I have these removable bolts, just in case something like this were to happen. We got the wheels mounted in. That's a huge milestone. I think we can just dial everything in now. Now that we have the wheels on there, we know exactly what we're working with. We got the new flares ordered. We're gonna get all the clearance that we need up front, and I'll make sure to document that for you guys if you wanna run this similar setup. There's just a little bit more trimming on the inside of the front wheel wells when we're going full turn. We just rub slightly on the front wheels when they're turning because the wheels are just so wide. There's just a frame rail on the inside that we're just gonna have to trim back. Just minor things here and there. We're gonna get everything finished up. We're gonna get the car into wrap, and then it'll be done. And then we can just start working on the engine. I got a lot of performance stuff planned this summer, and hopefully some car shows. I mean, it'd be sweet if we could show this new setup off. I think these wheels are gonna be awesome, showing them off, you know, all polished up and everything. If shows happen, I'll make sure to document those shows as well. But we are pretty much on the home stretch, guys. I'd say 2-3 more weeks of the car looking like this, and then we'll reveal it with the new wrap. And I'm super excited for you guys to see what I've decided for. If you guys enjoyed this video, revealing the wheels mounted up on the car, even in its rough state, I'd really appreciate you guys subscribing if you're new here. If you want to see more content on this car, soon it won't be looking like this. It'll be looking a real clean build. I think it'll be really awesome when it's all put together. But make sure you guys check out my other content if you have not, and leave a comment down below what you think of the new wheels and how they look on the car. Keep in mind, still under construction. I know it's rough around the edges. We're gonna get this all dialed in. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.